from Yellow Gazebo Natural Healthcare in Toronto. We're located at 804 St. Clair Avenue West. I'm a registered acupuncturist and TCM practitioner. I'm here today with Amy Gildner, a registered physiotherapist at Yellow Gazebo. Hi, Amy.
Hi, Richard.
So, Amy, today we're going to talk about physiotherapy for kids and teens. Now, you were just saying that a lot of people don't know that their kids or teenagers can benefit from physiotherapy. Can you give us an example of a case where physiotherapy would be good for someone younger?
Yeah, sure. I'm seeing more and more kids these days with injuries that mostly in the past have been exclusively to adults. So things like a tight neck from sitting over your computer all day or sore low back. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot more in kids. You know, we're getting heavier textbooks, and backpacks are a major one. Everyone has a computer these days, which in the past wasn't really the case.
Kids are carrying textbooks and
computers, yeah. So it's so very heavy, and of course it's cool to sling the backpack over one shoulder. So yeah, I can't argue with that, but it does create an imbalance.
So how do you treat someone that age?
I treat the same as adults. I obviously would probably have a bit gentler approach than I do. Anyone that's seen me knows that I can be aggressive, but
she's very mean.
Definitely. But I treat pretty much just like I do with adults. I like to educate and say this is why I'm doing it, and this is why you'll feel relief.
Can you be specific? Because I think a lot of people have the experience with physiotherapy where they get hooked up to a machine and they're there for 20 minutes and then they leave.
Right.
Tell us how you practice.
Right. That's not how I practice personally. That's just my choice. Other physios do that, and that's their choice. I am manual and hands-on. Which means that I'm touching you at all times. I practice a little bit of acupuncture as well, but apart from that, I'm always on you. I'm working through the muscles and doing mobilizations of the joints, and then I give you homework to do. So I'll give you a home exercise plan. I send home with every person stretching, strengthening, or ideas of what they can do to supplement their physio. So if I think that they have a weak core, I'll say do Pilates. If they're very tight, I say do yoga. I try to send people home with homework to do. Because the reality is, even if you come to see me twice a week, which is fantastic, that's still only an hour of your entire week. What are you doing the other hours? It's a lot of hours that you're not at physio. So I like to send people home.
I love your approach because it seems to be to help the patient get better as fast as possible.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, that's what I think, yeah.
Why waste time, right?
There's no time to waste. There's no reason why people need to be in pain.
And speaking of your practice, you've never done acupuncture on me.
I haven't.
No.
We'll
have to do that.
I'll do that one day, yeah.
What else I wanted to ask you? What's the youngest age you've ever treated?
I've treated, I think she was about 7 or 8 years old.
Okay. Is that about the age? Because if I do acupuncture on someone who's young, it usually doesn't. 7 or 8 is usually the age I start to.
Yeah, in all honesty, there are some physiotherapists that specialize in, even infants, which I don't do. You have to take additional training for that, so I'm not comfortable personally treating infants or toddlers. There are some physiotherapists that do that. That's a whole other area of practice. I would say 7 or 8 is probably what I feel comfortable with. That's when they're just a bit bigger. They can tolerate a bit more. They know their body a bit better.
Right.
Yeah, I'd say that's
they're easier to educate.
They're easier to educate. They kind of understand what's going on.
What about your pelvic floor physiotherapy that you do? Is that good for athletic teens?
Yes, I'd say I would do that with teenagers, and obviously talk about it extensively with the parents first,
right?
Because it is an invasive internal approach. But one of the most common age populations of incontinence. So when you're jumping, basically what that means is when you're jumping, a little bit of urine comes out. Very, very common with women post-pregnancy. But the other age category that's very common is kind of pubescent girls that are very, very active. Gymnasts, soccer players, volleyball players. I've experienced a lot of young females, maybe between the ages of 13 and 16, that it's very embarrassing. They're at a practice and they jump and they wet themselves and they don't know what's wrong. It's not their fault, but it's an odd medical.
And I think pelvic floor physio is great, and it's great that you do it, because I think these girls now don't have to spend the potentially the rest of their lives
Right.
not getting treated for it. Now they can get treated.
Now they can get treated.
Yeah.
I've seen, this is not just with kids, obviously, this is mostly with women who have had birth, but you know, maybe after their first one they developed a stress incontinence, and then after their second one they found out about pelvic floor. They came to see me and they said, wow, I didn't know that I didn't have to wear a liner the rest of my life.
Right.
So kind of going off topic from kids, but anyways, pelvic floor incontinence can be solved. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add about about physiotherapy for kids and teens?
Basically, that the kids and teens can be treated for physio and can benefit from physio. Like I said before, a lot of kids have injuries that were once only seen in adults because of our society. A large, and on a slightly different note too, a big area I see with kids is inactivity, and mom and dad are bringing them in for more exercise programs or strengthening programs specifically for their kids.
Yeah, any
because
kid can benefit from that.
yeah, a lot of kids are just less active than we were 10, 20, 30 years ago. So that's another big area of physiotherapy, and we can create a proper and safe exercise program for kids. That is something we do learn in school. We have a pediatrics unit, so we know how to properly assess and create exercise programs for kids that are safe to do so. And so you're not going to give a 7-year-old weights, you know, heavy weights in the gym, that sort of thing. We know how to properly do all that. So that's another main area I'm seeing is just combating childhood obesity and inactivity.
Great.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And if you have any questions, feel free to email Amy at amy@yellowgazeboclinic.com, and we'll have more information that you can follow up with at the end in the credits. Thank you so much.